Hey guys, it's Rinsley and welcome back to Ace Attorney. Last time we managed to track down both Gordy and the second witness, who's a little bit odd, but he also seems to be connected to the DL6 incident. If you managed to miss that one, check out the card above, but without further ado, let's see what witness brings to the table. Enjoy. December 27th, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, apparently the prosecution is also ready. Who is the judge here anyway? Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well, no opening statements, so... Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking. Right, of course. A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. Order, order. Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Bah, must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Right. I call my witness, my decisive witness, to the stand. It's that mysterious boat shop owner. Ah, this is the weird guy. Witness, state your profession. Ah, yeah, I am the proprietor of the restaurant The Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct? Yeah, I was. Please testify. Wait a second. We still haven't heard who this old guy is. Wait a minute. The witness hasn't stated his name yet. Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. Bah. I have predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate. Yeah, right. The witness will state his name. Well, I'm not really sure. Yep. What do you mean? My, memory. Your Honor, the witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name. He would have given himself a new name, surely. For legal records. Bills and shit. He can't recall, you say? Yes. But the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Very well. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we, witness? Oh. Oh, it was the night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yup. I was in the restaurant where I, rent boats as usual. That's weird. Then I heard a bang. Yup. Oh, when I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to the shore, and a man walks by my window. Very well. I'd like to begin the cross-examination. There is nothing to question my witness's testimony. Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before our 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict now. Yes. Mr. Wright? You're damn right I'm going to cross-examine. What are you saying? Of course I'll cross-examine the witness. Very well, you may begin. Excuse me, Mr. Von Karma? 3 minutes just passed. I see. Well then, let's just take our time. You may cross-examine the witness. Right, night of the murder. It was night of the 24th, just after midnight. No point wasting time on that one, because I'm just going to ask if, you know, wouldn't that make it Christmas Day if it was after midnight, rather than Christmas Eve? I was in the restaurant where I rent boats as usual. Nope, waste of time. Heard a bang. I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to the shore and a man walks by my window. Press that one. By your window? Oh, yup. By my window, right outside the window of my little shack. And could you see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there in front of me. I saw him. This is a rather important detail. Please add it to your testimony. I have a bad feeling about this. That man was the defendant. He was saying, "I can't believe he's dead." Press further. Are you sure? Uh-oh. Dad! Dead certain, Keith. He said, "I can't believe he's dead," as he was walking by, too. Witness, are you sure that the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? Oh, it was him. This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Von Karma, he lured me into cross-examining so he could set me up for a fall. Nick, I don't like the things the way are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. I better act quick, so this trial's going to be over. Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired that gun. Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun, and the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand? Exactly. That is easily explainable. He could have wiped his prints after he fired. You are ignoring the truth of the matter here. Everything in this witness's testimony is true. The judge has lost in thought. What should I do? Raise an objection. Just keep objecting. Your Honor, this witness claims that Edgeworth said I can't believe he's dead. But his word is all we have. If he were telling a lie... Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently, you have yet to realize even this basic fact. If you say his testimony is a lie, show us proof. Nick, do we have evidence? It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Please. Can you hear me, sis? Please? We need your help. Nick needs you. "3 minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record." That's really fucking weird, sorry. I'm sitting here recording this, and when you said 50 minutes isn't too bad, we're sitting on 3 minutes, sitting on 15 minutes of footage. Sorry, me time is on 15 minutes. I just found that funny. Oh, sorry. Back in character. Enough. The witness may leave the stand. Or get dragged off. I think he's asleep. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. Nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. What? No. This court finds the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, guilty. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned. Shit. Wait! Who was that just now? Me! Huh? What? Larry? What are you doing here? Listen, you gotta listen to me. I was there in the park the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday. But today I remembered it. Remembered what? The gunshot. I heard it too. Order. What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I'll call for adjournment. You would. One moment, Mr. Von Karma. So you say you heard a gunshot? Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience listening to the testimony. Then I realized something you'd said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Order. Order. Well, this is the first time something has happened like this in my court. That read completely wrong there. Anyway. I'm not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision. The trial is over. Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance at this. She's right. If only it wasn't Larry. It could make things even worse. Mr. Edgeworth just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse. You're right. Okay, let's go for it. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now. A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned. Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. Thanks, Judge. Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now. What? The court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. That damn. Plucked from the fire by Larry Butts of all people. December 27th, 10:28 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Whew. That was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night. Yes? He said he went looking for the steel samurai balloon that flew into the lake. All right. And he found the balloon and the air tank that night? Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. Huh? You say something right? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Mr. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. Then I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Right. Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has to let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right? That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this one for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything's on Larry now. December 27th, 10:35 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Carmen didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. That night I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but up forward, Nick. The night of the murder. That night I was out on a boat on the lake. Doesn't matter. We're looking for something and I found it. Press that one. Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butts, what was it you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth, in a sense. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with. So, quietly slipped the boat back in the rental shop dock. Just was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. Did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake but didn't see a boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Butts? Whoa, whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay. No problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So, after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. So, you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick. It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should just start working on the contradictions. Sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. Right. So it's gotta be... Everything else was junk. Single gunshot's important. What have we got here? Let's have a look. Hold on. Lost deposition. I heard two sounds like gunshots just after midnight on 12/25. One gunshot contradicts it. Let's have that one. Wait a sec, Larry. What? You only heard one bang? You sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lockhart testified yesterday that she heard two bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard two gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me right, nice and stuff, okay? Capiche? Mr. Butts. What? You only heard one gunshot. Are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Huh? Not sure? How could you not be sure? Yeah, well... Oh yeah... I might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude. With my headphones. What? Order, order. And stop that booing. Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones? Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. I do not accept this witness, nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony? Continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who does not know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio. Right. Leave it to me. I wouldn't if there was any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume? Yeah. What's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drumbeat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? A DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is, when you heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. But very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. What Larry heard. Right, let's pull this one apart. Right, let's pull this one apart. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. We're not really interested in any of this, really, are we? Isn't it real booming loud like, sure I heard that gunshot. That's the one we want. That's the key information there. Remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. Let's press. What did he say? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care. We totally should care. That helps narrow down time, I think. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask him? Fine. Very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when you said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there's one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. Right, so let's pull back. Hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot, which means it was Christmas Eve. Which means it was before midnight. Present. There we go. Because Lotta heard two, like things saying die, like this thing saying here. She heard 2 gunshots after midnight, which means he heard a 3rd gunshot before midnight. So that means there was 3 gunshots, not 2. Present that one for sure. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas, when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realise what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. But that contradicts the 2 testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honour. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honour. Order! Order! What does this mean? The 2 prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butler's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honour. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. Second Lake photo. That one, because that one's before midnight. Look at this photograph. Sorry. This was taken by a witness yesterday. Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 PM. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honour, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honour, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 PM. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was almost definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that if this is the case, then where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honour. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honour, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. Hey, my nose was clear that night, man, cheer. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 PM was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. Something I noticed about the gun before. The murder weapon. See, I thought it was this was the gun from DL6, so I thought I might be tied to it, but maybe not. I'm thinking maybe not now. The murder weapon, 22 caliber, fired 3 times. Bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand. 3 times. 2 shots accounted for. This will be the 3rd one. That's the one we want. This is my evidence. The murder weapon. Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honour. It was bothering me as well. But I had the wrong idea. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was the last shot fired? Only now have I realised the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? Oh, I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separate by 25 minutes? What's wrong, Nick? I have it. I have it. Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya? Yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. Right. I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. It's already been declared guilty. We've got nothing to lose at all. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honour. Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So, you finally realize the truth? There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit, it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes. But this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that? Hold on a second. Check the court record here. What does the autopsy report say? There we go. Time of death. Sometime on the 24th or 25th. Shot from approximately 1 meter away. So there's no hard and fast thingy of time. Time of death. We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 00:15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are. Edgeworth and the murderer. It has to be. Of course. It was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50. He assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah, again you waste my time. No. I don't know. Because he never told us. The boat guy. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop. That old man. 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat. What? Well then, where did the murder take place? It's got to be in the boat shop. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way, he can meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honour, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honour. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then, he got on the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol in the boat, Mr. Edgeworth? Sorry, Mr. Wright. Don't know why I said Edgeworth there. It's because I was looking at the screen to see if Miles had boat shop caretaker shot the pistol. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice, both Miss Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us, why did the murderer have to fire twice? Create a witness. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honour. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Once you realise that, everything else falls into place. Boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honour. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. I think we're onto something here. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry. I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. Now it's suspicious as the witness is running away. December 27th, 1:22 PM. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Yay, Nick! You did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes, I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably getting a good off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth. No. There's so little time left. I want to tell you, to get it off my chest, but... I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime that you committed? A memory of a murder. Well, shit. That's a bombshell to leave it on. Right, guys. We're going to leave that here for today. We've managed to save ourselves for another day. We've got ourselves a kind of good thingy of events. A kind of good story of events. Hopefully we can prove that to be true. I think it is true. I do believe it is true. Hopefully there's no plot holes. We need to find the boathouse guy. We need to find out who he is and how he's tied to the case and why he would murder Robert Hammond. Everything like that. But we're going to leave that till next time. Thank you all for watching. If you have liked it, please hit that like button. Please share, comment, subscribe, and do all of that jazz. And as always, I shall see you all on the flip side. Bye bye.